studying the sermon. English is my second language, please bear with me. And yeah, glad to see you together. I'm really glad to share Word of God together with you. Today is World Communion Sunday. Every church celebrates Holy Communion together and remember we are one family in God. As Ephesians says, Christ is our head and we are body of the church. We are one body by partaking in Holy Communion and we remember God's love and grace to us. Especially Methodists, we are believing that Holy Communion as an open table. In open table, every people who want to confess their sin and to join in the table and want to experience God's love, they are welcome to join us together. Because we believe they might encounter God's love in this table and they experience conversion experience at this table. Nowadays, church tends to forget the importance of Holy Communion. Some would dislike. The Holy Communion makes worship service long, and some do not want to wait a long line. But Jesus Christ reveals Himself at this table, and God welcomes you. And no matter who you are, no matter what you did, and no matter where you come from, that doesn't matter. God welcomes you, and God loves you. This is why I love Holy Communion. I want to share my experience a little bit. I was raised by a single mom, and my mom, she worked so hard to raise my sister and me. Since parents divorced, I couldn't feel like sense of belonging enough in my home. But I found love at this table. God welcoming love calls me to come near God, and God welcomed me a lot. This table is a place God welcomes you and loves you and makes us in one family. So even though my family was broken, in this table we become one family. So you are my sisters and brothers, mom and father, something like yeah. As God has welcomed me, God also loves you and welcomes you. We are one family in God. And the theme of oneness is the main lesson in Ephesians. In today's reading from Paul's letter to the Ephesians, Paul talks about the mystery, saying the mystery was made known to me by revelation, which implies that we cannot buy it, we cannot earn it by myself. Only by help of God, we know the mystery. Thus, we need to ask ourselves, what is the content of mystery Paul has experienced? There are many ways to explain mystery. When you watch TV shows talks about mysteries and conundrum in the world. Do UFOs really exist outside the Earth? And Bermuda Triangle is really real? TV shows seem to present these things as a mystery that science cannot fully explain. Or some say talking about mystery is sort of intellectual laziness. And they argue when people do not want to study further and deeper, they use term mystery. For example, when you study museum, you ask your friends, do you know this answer to this question? Your friends say, I don't know answer. This is a mystery. Your friends say that. But I believe they are missing some points here. A mystery may be beyond our ability to explain, offer a verbal explanation. But we still experience it. When you love someone, you cannot fully articulate why you love. But you know it is love. Of course, we can explain by help of a science, hormone from our brain that goes here and goes here, so we know how we love. But is it not sufficient? We can know by help of the science, or we know how we love, but we don't know why we love. That isn't sufficient. There are many mysteries in Christianity too. Why is God trying? Why 1 in 3? Why 3 in 1? Why does God love us? We cannot articulate the reason enough, even though we try to explain. It is beyond our words, but still we experience by God's revelation. God's love is mystery. It has power. Open your heart, open your mind, and to offer ourselves to people who need God's love. I have watched a TV show that introduces genius children, so-called 영재발굴단 in Korean show. A 9-year-old boy draws a picture and he names it love. Let us show the pictures. Yeah, this is the picture. There is a lion and deer they have. And look at their eye contact. It's a lovely picture drawn by only 9-year-old boy. What did I do when I was 9? I don't know. Anyway, in the real world, the lion catches the deer and kills him. And the deer has to flee from the lion, right? But he pictures this beautiful picture, and he says that on TV shows, love changes impossibility to possibility. The 9-year-old boy says, love changes impossibility to possibility. Yeah. I think what this boy captures is the same as what Paul wants to say in Ephesians chapter 3. In Ephesians assembly, there are 2 ethnic groups. One is Jewish Christian, and another is Gentile Christians. They are fighting each other. It is not easy for them to be united, blended together. It is not easy for them to participate in Jesus' movement together. Seemingly, it is impossible work for them. But Paul knows it is possible when they experience the power of mystery. When they experience God's love, it is possible to be united. In the beginning of chapter 3, Paul says this is the reason. In original Greek Bible, it says, to karin, which means because of that or therefore, thus we can change it because of. Do you remember last sermon I preached? I talked about Jeongdong area, so the people do not want to go over the Jeongdong area, and we are called as a reconciler. So our work is now to reconcile people. So we talked about that. In Ephesians chapter 2, Christ comes to us to reconcile with God and request us to the same work as Jesus did. Here in chapter 3, the point chapter 3 is Paul puts himself to the work of reconciliation and shows what he is doing now. What he is doing now to reconcile people. Thus we can change verse 1 to read like this. Because of the new humanity as a reconciler, I, myself, Paul, who am a prisoner of Jesus Christ for Gentiles. There is no verb in the Greek Bible, but he's telling us he has become prisoner because of the work he is doing on behalf of Gentiles. It is obvious that because of that mystery he experienced, he freely and happily becomes a prisoner. How is this possible? Would any of us willing to become a prisoner here? If I were Paul, I don't want to be a prisoner. I'm not sure. Not many people can be a prisoner for others, but Paul explains it. It is possible when he experienced the mystical love of Jesus Christ. He becomes a prisoner for Jesus as well as for Gentiles. Thus, we can find out there are 2 main features in mystery. First, Paul believes that experiencing mystery of Jesus Christ enables you to see other people as fellow members of Jesus Christ in one body. The power of mystery enables us to open our eyes to see the beauty and treasure hidden in other persons, other people. Even though they are unknown to us, when we experience God's mystery, we find that Jesus dwells in us. Not only dwells in us, but also dwells in other person's life. Knowing grace is to accept others as our family, rather than knowing only yourself and having your positions. Nowadays, society intentionally make fearful environment. So whenever we encounter unknown people, our first reaction is to fear. You know, in the Ephesian church, there are two ethnic groups here. They were fighting each other because of the fear, because they do not know each other well, so they make a wall between ethnic groups. Paul is talking to them, if you know love of Jesus Christ, you wouldn't hurt each other. But you love each other because Jesus died to unite us. This can be applied to us as well. We have many ethnic groups in our church. I'm Korean. Here we have Filipino, Thai, and African American, and many ethnic groups in our church. And sometimes cultural differences make us misunderstand each other. But we should keep in mind that we become one family by love of Jesus Christ. If you experience the mystery, you can embrace the difference and love one another. Second, Paul equates the love for Jesus Christ with his suffering for Gentiles. His love for Jesus Christ is identical to his love for Gentiles. He says, I am a prisoner for Christ in verse 1, and he also tells us, my suffering for you here is Gentiles, not Jewish people, in verse 13. The mystery of Jesus Christ enables us to endure pain for others. Moreover, Paul is well known of the fact his suffering will turn out to be for their glory someday. While extending God's love, we may confront problems and conflict. Then many people cease to help others. They stop here when they confront problems. But if you know the mystery of Jesus Christ and how Jesus Christ carried his crucifixion and the cross for you, you can keep offering yourself for God and neighbor. You are called to be a reconciler. We have many examples of reconcilers around us. They are willing to suffer for others. For example, a Catholic priest, in Sudan, he passed away in 2010. He was a medical doctor, and he cared and he helped who got Hansen disease. Their bodies are rotten and go bad and cut off, but tacitly he helped them. No one cared them, but Father Lee helped them to live as a human with dignity. He got a cancer and passed away eventually. Even though he was Korean and he didn't know much about Sudan people, but he did go to Sudan and take care of them. He shared his life for them. We cannot explain enough why he died there, why he served there. We don't know the reason. But we are sure that he experienced the mystery of Jesus Christ and power of love. And he obeyed to God. Brothers and sisters in Christ, if you experience God's love, you may see the beauty hidden in your neighbor and offer yourself as a gift to your neighbor. Lastly, I want to talk about suffering in general. All people face suffering at some point in their lives. Even though we have a good will and good reason to help someone, we sometimes face sufferings. We may feel like we are being trampled and become depressed, but not all the grace that fall from the vine go bad or rotten. You need to remember that. Not all grapes that fall from the vine go bad or rotten. Some of them, after a long time of enduring and suffering, they finally become a wine, while still having wound inside of them. After becoming wine, some of them experience the mystical love of God. They find the beauty hidden in unknown people, and they open their heart and offer themselves for people who need God's love and grace. Then they become wine for the Holy Communion. This wine is well aware that their pain will be glorious someday when God needs them. It is the mystery of God. Even though we cannot fully articulate God's love with our vocabulary, we still experience God's love. And because of that love, we also reach out to people who need God. When you experience God's love, you may find it opens your heart. It seems too impossible before you encounter God's love to be united, but it is possible to be united with people when God calls you in love and when God calls you to be one family in God. The mystery of love even makes you willing to endure pain for others. But remember, this pain will turn out to be for the glory of God. Amen.
Amen.